Let's talk emotional eating and how to manage it better. Listen, we've all been there. I've been there. I've done it, and it's normal. It happens, but there are ways to help get yourself through it. And I think, it for me over the years, it's really started with creating a healthy relationship with food and really understanding or wanting to eat foods that help me thrive. Because I know when I eat foods that are helping me thrive and feel good, like I just feel better as a person. And emotional eating could mean anything from like, those moments of like complete distress or a bad day at work or a fight with a friend or a boyfriend, or maybe it's just boredom. And I think, I'm going to share some things that have worked for me, and they might not necessarily work for you because not everything that works for someone might work for you. But this is just kind of my experience with emotional eating. And the reason I'm going to talk about this is because I often get a few messages from people in my community who ask me, how do I deal with emotional eating? And I'll start by saying, first, sometimes I just try to deal with the boredom, because a lot of times for me, the emotional eating comes out of boredom. And, it might mean one, acknowledging that I'm probably just bored. So I'll go for a walk, like get out the door, get some fresh air, get into nature. Maybe I go for a workout. Perhaps it's calling a friend and talking to them. And, sometimes that boredom really just distracts me from like going to town on the snack drawer. Other ways, I'm not big on food diaries, but people I know, this has really helped them. And so I'm saying it because, I have a lot of good friends who really are very consistent with a food diary, and it's really helped them track what they're eating and helps them manage to eat foods that are what they would say better for them. Personally, I don't like saying good, bad foods. I just, like I said, I like to say foods that help you thrive, and the foods that will make you feel better. Listen, I know how I feel after I've ate a whole lot of something, but I do believe in balance and moderation, and I think it's important to listen to your body. But I know how I feel when I've like gone overboard. So I think it's really learning how your body responds to food. So emotional eating, sometimes it could just be as simple as taming your stress. And I spoke to this a little bit earlier, which is maybe going for a walk, going for a workout, talking to a friend. But if it does come from stress, I find sweating it out is the best stress management technique. Meditation, even deep breathing. I love guided meditation. So sometimes even just like taking a moment to stop and say, hey, I'm going to listen to a 5-minute guided meditation. And it totally just switches my perspective on things. And I don't go crazy on the snacks. Another thing I find that helps emotional eating is to always have great snacks on hand. And I say great snacks, and I say having them on hand, and I mean that by having food that or snacks prepared. So cut up your fruits and vegetables in advance, so they're like literally ready when you open the fridge. You can like grab this like bowl of carrot sticks and celery and nuts and yogurt, whatever it is, but have snacks ready and on hand that you can grab. And I think that just really helps to distract you from emotional eating. Getting support, and I mean that truly just by like calling a friend and talking to them. And perhaps like it could be, the emotional eating could be just related to having to vent about something that you're dealing with in your life. And I find that talking to my best friend really just kind of takes a lot of stress off of my heart, and I just don't feel the need to eat my way through the stress. So get that support that you need. Acknowledge that it's okay to talk to somebody and that you're not alone. And then ask yourself, am I really hungry? This is such a funny thing because it sounds so simple when you say it. Am I really hungry? But when you ask yourself that, you realize that like a lot of times you're probably not. Like I find that if I ask myself that most cases I'm just really thirsty and I just have a glass of water and I feel great. So, ask yourself, am I really hungry? And then emotional eating, I think sometimes can be triggered by just having a lot of accessibility to really tempting foods. And I don't say that food should be tempting, bad, good, whatever. I'm just saying, if you know that you're the type of person that just like loves Kit Kats, like, and that sometimes you go overboard and it doesn't make you feel good, then don't buy a ton of Kit Kats and don't put them in your house. Like yes, it's okay to have one and that's fine. Maybe buy just one Kit Kat instead of buying the bulk. Don't go to Costco and buy a bulk of Kit Kats. So just, managing the temptation in advance. And then don't deprive yourself. And I think I mentioned, I believe in everything in moderation. So listen, if you really are hungry for something, and you want it, and your body is telling you, there's good chance that you should just have it, and your body wants it and needs it, so have it. But just know your limits, because like I said, if we go back to what I said about foods that make you thrive, just knowing that, like, if you eat too much of it, there's a good chance you're not going to be thriving. And that's how I look at food, and just like, don't deprive yourself. Enjoy what your body needs. And learning from setbacks. So it's okay to have an episode of emotional eating. Like I said, we all go through it. Don't be too hard on yourself. Focus on the positive changes that you're making in your eating habits, creating a really healthy relationship with food. Don't forget to always give yourself a pat on the back, reward yourself. Man, like, every day is a great day to be alive. We're very lucky that we have access to good food. So just changing your perspective, I think, on food is so important. This is a lot to take in. And I guess to sum it all up, there are so many ways that you could help yourself, from binging, emotional eating. Discipline definitely is a part of it. But I think most importantly is creating like a really good relationship with food, really learning how your body responds, learning the needs of your body. And I think once you really get in tune with that and you connect to that, the emotional eating part just becomes less of a binge and less of an emotional occurrence. It's you eat, like I eat when I socialize with friends, and it's a good thing. Like I try to create great experiences around food, and that for me has really helped, and I have less of the emotional binging. So I hope that makes sense. It was a lot to take in, but I hope you learned something from it. Let me know if you want to do more episodes about nutrition and health and fitness, and I'm here for you. But thanks for tuning in. Yours truly, Trisha.